David Stegmeyer, Director of Outreach for...
Go ahead.
Sorry. My apologies. From Ms. Comstock's office, we have her Director of Outreach, Mr. Dave Stegmeyer. Thank you for being here, sir.
Okay, thank you all for coming. I have three more people to introduce, and they are three retiring veteran teachers. So more than likely, the students have had all three of these teachers. The first teacher I want to introduce is Miss Rhonda Alley. Where is she? See right there? Okay. Miss Alley has been an educator for 36 years. Okay. She started, her first job was in Radford High School in Virginia, teaching English to 8th and 9th graders and theater arts 1 and 2. And she has been with Loudoun County Public Schools for 15 years. Okay. Yay, Miss Alley. Okay. Our second retiree, sitting right up front, Coach, is Mr. Tom Lucero. Get it right. He's been teaching for 44 years. He started teaching health and PE in East Los Angeles at the Florence Nightingale Junior High School. Continued to teach in Los Angeles for a total of 19 years, and he's been at Douglas for 25 years. And the winner is, for the total number of years, is Mr. Curtis Hose, who unfortunately is not here today because his wife is also retiring and he had an event for her. But he's been teaching for 50 years. He started in 1967. He started his career in Franklin, West Virginia, teaching 12th grade English and 11th grade American history. So 50 years. If my math is correct, and I believe it is, that's a grand total of 130 years of service. Which, okay, thank you. Thank you to all of you. We will miss you. I just want to say a few brief words to the class of 2017, and then we'll move on with the program. If you were here last year, you may remember that I quoted my favorite singer-songwriter, Bob Dylan. Well, this year, to honor Miss Alley, okay, I am quoting one of her favorite artists, who's Paul McCartney of the Beatles. In 1970, Paul McCartney wrote the lyrics to a song titled Let It Be, and he called those words words of wisdom, and they truly are words of wisdom. Let it be, okay? This is a society of instant gratification. Text messaging right at our fingertips. And my advice to this class is to develop patience, stop and think, take time to process, okay? Don't say things when you're angry. I guarantee you, you will regret it later if you do, okay? There's no rule that says you have to respond in haste. Relax, take time to answer. Take the time you need. If you see something you want to buy but you can't afford it, wait a little while. In a couple of days, you may not even want it, okay? Do not feel that you always have to have the last word. What difference does it make? Truly, in the big scheme of things, don't feel you always have to have the last word, okay? And I'm going to end by quoting Paul McCartney again. In the song, he says, "There will be an answer, just let it be." So those are my words to you, okay? Have patience and let it be, okay? Now I'm going to turn it over for some information about the clubs. Mr. Jason.
Before I get on to the clubs, I just want to acknowledge that I'm part of the tech department, and as part of the tech department, we put together a club video because there are just so many clubs at this school. It was something new we did this year. Instead of having just a lunchtime, come as you will kind of club. We, as teachers, paired up, and every 2 to 3 teachers ended up coming up with their own club and invited all students. So every student was able to participate in something of their interest other than all the school that they love, right? All the scholastics. Also, as part of our craziness tech department, we have a live feed going on our Facebook page, which every morning we do a live stream of the morning announcements, just to update what probably all of us grew up to, which is over the intercom. So we just kind of took it up a notch. And you can see how glitchy it is right now. So if you have Wi-Fi on and you're connected to the LCPS Open network, we're asking you to try to pull off of that because we're all entering into the same hub, basically. So we're trying to stream it out to the people that couldn't make it here. Well, with that said, I'd like to present the video. Ms. Lancaster is going to pop up the video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And I believe I'd like to introduce Miss Willow Preston, or Miss Willow Preston on our reflections piece.
Good morning. My name is Willow Preston. I first came to Douglas in my junior year and graduated this past January. Since graduating early from Douglas, I'm employed to the best job offer I've ever received. I'm currently employed with the town of Leesburg for the Ida Lee Recreation Center. I took 2 classes at Nova this spring and got A's in both of them. I will be transferring to Mount St. Mary University in the fall to major in biology. This moment is surreal. I feel that we've been waiting for this graduation since middle school, as we all have. My time at Douglas, although short, was an exciting and overall strengthening experience. I tell the truth often how Douglas saved me from spiraling downward. Douglas didn't shove me into a system with a number and tell me good luck, but instead approached me with help and questions. And I was treated like a human instead of a prisoner. Both principals, Dr. Robinson and Miss Turner, showed me the Douglas way. Alternative schools are often misread and overlooked. Students here at Douglas simply need more patience and time, and the teachers at Douglas are willing to put in that effort. Being a part of Douglas made me realize the dedication, commitment, and support that came from both the staff and even some of the Douglas students. My fondest memory tied to Douglas is the summer and my final semester to my senior year this fall. Mr. Lesher, my counselor, fought for me on countless occasions and showed me to the light to life after high school. Not only did he help me into online classes to finish high school, but he called several colleges asking questions that would continuously help me with the application process. He helped me get started at Nova. It seemed that every time I came into his office with outrageous questions about my online classes, graduation, or college, Mr. Lesher would always have an answer on hand. He helped me see my potential and gave me the strength to get through and graduate from Douglas. Thank you, Mr. Lesher. Whether our time here has been long or short, we've been through the experience, and now the question is, what's next? I was presented with several college offers, but also some rejections, which makes the experience even more meaningful. What made me truly realize that I wasn't a high school student anymore was having to make risky yet rewarding decisions about my whole future. At Mount St. Mary University, I'll pursue all my wants and needs. Now I'll be pursuing a degree in biology, playing D1 varsity rugby, and continuing to work at Idly, which makes me happy. I'm able to juggle all these priorities because I have the opportunity to do things that make me happy and turn it into a career. I know some of us will head straight into the workforce, other community college or university, and some may even be fighting for our country. Whatever it is, I know that we may never know where we'll end up, but this is our grand start to life. So I'd like to say thank you to all the people I've met at Douglas who made my time here easier. My biggest thank you also goes out to my parents. Thank you for being so patient and understanding in this path to life. Your support and love means more than anything in the world. High school is about finding your passions and, more importantly, yourself. No one will stop our right to life, ever. Thank you, and congrats to the 2017 Douglas graduates.
Oh, thank you. That's going to be hard to follow, I think. My name's Don Kors. I'm from the Greenway. Our award goes to recognize a senior that goes the extra mile of trying to help others. It could be support their family, their school, community, even the environment. Branson Dolly is our nominee and award winner. He's described as very motivated, very caring. He works extra hard. He's been inspiration to the school, demonstrating excellence in leadership, work ethics, and character. He was a member of the varsity basketball team, and he volunteered so others may eat some on his spare time. He plans on getting a degree in criminology from Lockhaven University, and someday join the FBI and or the CIA. So, congratulations.
Mr. Briner?
I guess I'm up. My name's Tom Briner. I'm the guitar teacher here at Douglas. We're going to play a little song for you. There's three of us here, and sort of indicative of how our year has gone. People coming and going like crazy, but I think it's kind of interesting here at the Douglas School. We have Europe, Asia, and Central America all represented here at the guitar ensemble. I'm the boring Loudoun County guy. So we're going to play a little folk song. It's called Shenandoah. Starts off kind of simply, but it gets a little fun later on. So hope you enjoy it. All ready? I can see. One, play, go.
There you go.
Well done to our guitarists. I like that. I like the local flavor. I'm Sherry Simmons. I'm the assistant principal here, and at this time, I would like to ask Virginia Delegate Mr. Randy Minshew if he would please come to the mic. We have been blessed this year as a school. The school was built in 1941, and this is its 75th year. And we have been honored with proclamations from several organizations, and in this instance, Mr. Minshew is helping us celebrate some more at an auspicious time. So,
Thank
Mr.
you, Ms.
Minshew,
Simmons.
thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, seniors, I'm Randy Minshew. I live here in Leesburg, and let me say I really enjoyed hearing that rendition of Shenandoah. You know, it's interesting. Shenandoah, that song, that tune was turned into our state song last year, and it is the only state song that was written by someone who is leaving the state it honors, and it's written by someone who is leaving this beautiful Commonwealth, but he's remembering of what it was like. And when it became our state song, people reflected that sometimes it reminds us that there are some things in life you don't really appreciate until you're leaving. So it's a beautiful song. You guys did a great job, and since it's now our state song, you played without even knowing it, our state song of Virginia. Well done. Those of you who know me know that I'm kind of a history buff, and the history of this place, this town, this county, and the real estate where you are right now is really one of the more inspiring stories of Virginia. And you seniors, the story of where you are right now is now part of your bone marrow, and I'm going to briefly tell you about that. Let's go back to late 1940, early 1941. That was a time of racial segregation in our country. The separate but equal, a phraseology that came out of the Supreme Court's decision in Plessy versus Ferguson, was still the law of our Commonwealth. Whenever I read that Supreme Court decision, I thought it's probably the biggest oxymoron in the history of the Supreme Court of the United States. Separate but equal is an oxymoron. You will never be equal if you're separate. That was the law of the land. And back in 1941, a group of really courageous citizens, African Americans and some white Virginians, said we need to have a school right here in the town of Leesburg that will teach those students things that have been deprived to them. So what they did, they formed a group called the County-Wide Association, and they raised $4,000. That's a lot of money back in those days. You're only about 11 years after the commencement of the Great Recession. So they raised $4,000 to buy 8 acres right here, where you are right now. And Dr. Williams, members of the school board, they went to the school board and said, we will sell you this real estate for $1 if you agree to build a school to teach those students of this county who are not being educated. And the school board took them up on that deal. And the Douglas School was born. And this school, which celebrated its 75th anniversary last year, was celebrated all last year. And the reason why here we're in 2017 celebrating something that happened last year is because the General Assembly only meets 2 months out of the year, January and February. So we had to adopt a resolution honoring the 75th anniversary here this year, even though the 75th anniversary was functioning last year. And I'm proud to say that together with the Loudoun County and Town of Leesburg delegation, Senator Wexon, Senator Black, and all the delegates who represent this county joined together, and we adopted a resolution that can be put in a prominent place honoring the history of this school and the inspiration that gave rise to it, which, seniors, is now part of your spirit. The spirit of this place, resilience, inspiration, never letting anyone tell you that you can't do something, is part of the inheritance that you guys are going to be carrying with you as graduates of this school. And it's one of the best stories we have here in Loudoun County. And on behalf of Senator Wexon, Senator Black, and everyone who has the honor of representing the town of Leesburg and Loudoun County, I would like to present a resolution. Ms. Turner, you can come forward. This is a resolution by unanimous vote of the 100 members of the House and 40 members of the Senate, honoring and commending the Douglas School, your great history, and your resilience and inspiring work that continues to this day. So on behalf of we're very grateful Commonwealth that's really proud of you and your students.
Thank you.
Please accept this.
Thank you. Oh, definitely.
Thank you, seniors. Best wishes. Godspeed to you.
Mr. Minshew? Mr. Minshew, don't go yet. This is our auspicious occasion to also say thank you to you and the Virginia Assembly for recognizing our part in history.
Well, thank you,
so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. We also had proclamations from the Leesburg Town Council, the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors, and from Congress. And at this time, I would like to recognize Mayor Kelly Burke and the Leesburg Town Council with just a generous thank you from us for your recognizing us.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Mr. Dave Stegmeyer. Mr. Stegmeyer. Mr. Stegmeyer is the Director of Outreach for Congresswoman Barbara Comstock, and he's representing her today. We are also saying thank you to you and to Congress for recognizing us as well. Most appreciated, sir.
Very much.
Wow, how cool is that? You guys didn't realize how special you were. Well, of course you did. Okay, my name is Julie Cacciola. I am the art teacher here at Douglas, and I gotta say, when the seniors, congratulations, guys, when you were walking in, I felt like a groupie. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Isaiah, there's Gracie, there's Eric, and because we had students that graduated in January, so we haven't seen them since January, so I'm like, I'm so happy to see you guys. On your program, it's listed as, and I do have my speech on my phone. I don't want you to think that I'm, doing anything. It's listed as an art award. I don't generally like to give out art awards because as a teacher, as an art teacher, it is my belief that every student in my classroom is an artist and it's not a competition. They all bring something very special. So if a student has been in my classroom, they are an artist. Anthony Johnson, you are an artist. He is an artist. But I do have two recognitions that I would like to present. And the first one is going to go to a junior, so I actually get to have him next year. Mr. Kitchen is going to be up after me and talk about our literary magazine. And this is a magazine that compiles poems and short stories and artwork that students have done throughout the year. And we have one student who basically got a commission to design the cover. And I basically said to him, his name is Devin, and I said, Devin, design the cover. 15th year of our literary magazine, go to town. And this is what he came up with. The title, 15th Ascension. This is all on the computer. This is all Devin's brainchild, and it is gorgeous. And so I wanted to recognize him for his talent, and he will get a copy of this, and anyone in the literary magazine will get a copy of this. So Devin, this is a thank you to you, and then a special thank you for me, because he made my job so much easier. So Devin, come on up. Awesome. Okay, and the next student who I want to recognize is a senior. She is graduating, a wonderful young lady, and she is, again, another commission. She's a student who designed the cover of your, what is this, program thing. And the thing that's wonderful about Joanna, her name is Joanna Ward, is, again, she is someone who, if I were an art director or a publisher or an editor of a magazine, I would want to have her in my employ, because I can basically say, Joanna, this is what we need. And I said to her, we need something cool for the cover. That's all I said, and this is what she came up with. Ram is our mascot. And so, again, making my job so much easier. She is someone who loves art. You can see her, anytime you see her, she is doing something on her tablet, something really awesome and art-worthy. And she is going to the Delaware College of Art and Design next year. She's going to be doing great things. She's a much better artist than me, so she can teach me a couple things. So, Joanna, this is for you, and this is a thank you. Come up. Okay, and Mr. Kitchen is up next.
If anybody has a couple thousand extra dollars, if you'll meet me afterwards, we can ride up to Manhattan and get a couple scalping seats to go see the musical Hamilton. We did Hamilton in school this year, and Alexander Hamilton had an image problem. The opening of the show goes, "How does an orphan, son of a whore, and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by Providence, impoverished, in squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar? The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by being a lot harder working, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter." And that are our students at Douglas. And we have an image problem here that many people think that our uniforms are orange. I have known teachers at other schools who expect us to be handing out ankle bracelets when they step into our doors. And people think that Alexander Hamilton, because he was illegitimate, was lesser. And they feel that Douglas, being alternative, is an apology, that it is lesser. And again, people who have worked in this county for decades sometimes come in here and are rather startled seeing students play chess, watching them play guitar. Mrs. Osmond takes her students out to a stream to do biology and environmental and whatever it is they do in that stream with their big mud boots. And Mrs. Alley, who is retiring, 2010 Loudoun County Teacher of the Year, several thousand teachers in Loudoun. She was our best, is our best. And she does a Mardi Gras parade. They study a novel, Orleans, and then they put on a Mardi Gras parade down our hallways. And then she takes them into this classroom and she teaches them how to keep going over short stories until they write them right. And over again, every teacher here, tries to get the light turned on. And every student gets to that diploma. And our colors are green. It is a fertile green. And those diplomas may have black ink, but they also have a little bit of gold on them. They are a glistening gold, and we are the green and gold. And to get past this image problem, we started 15 years ago saying we've got students who go on to be professional artists. We have students whose art needs to be shown out in public. And we've had students from Douglas win the Best Artist of Loudon, the Purchase Award that's given out every year to seniors. We've had, winners from Douglas do that. And we have students go on and major in writing in college and are professionals out there. So what we do every year is we celebrate with a 50-page literary magazine that Mrs. Cacciola just mentioned. And this year is the 15th Ascension. And we have 44 students who contributed art, writing, or both. And I would ask those that are here, some of them are not, but I would ask those that are here, call a long list of names. If I mispronounce, that's me being bad. Alex Acuna, would you stand? Are you here? Lena Alvarado, Aaron Burtke, Dakota Biggs, Ashley Boardman, Austin Sharsky, Trevor Deckman, Kat Diaz, Bryson Dolly, Eva Friedman, Lizette Guzman, Aaron Hart, Brandon Hare, Rico Height, get up there, Brian Jacobs, Anthony Johnson, Taylor Johnson, Yadira Hernandez Madrano, please stand, Michelle Jovel, Derek Keaton, Raheem Khan, get up there, Logan Cooney, Quan Lee, Jonathan Lovo, Noe Mejia, Antoinette Miranda, Darren Orloff, Dylan Pearson, Carla Perez, Robert Perez, Odalis Reyes Hernandez, J.C. Roberts, Makai Roberts, Emily Sandbeck, Devin Esterki Tricky, Aram Tawusi, Gio Torres, Natasha Travelstead, Gladys Velez, Eric Valeda, you there? Eve Walker, Gracie Wainwright, Joanna Ward, and Robert White. Thank you. Hot off the press, still warm. We just got it in after school yesterday. Our 15th edition. First one always goes out to our superintendent, Dr. Williams, our first copy.
The job has few perks, but this is one of them, and I look forward to it every year. I'm so impressed with the role too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Y'all are funny.
I just correct myself to my boss and board members. Actually, my job has lots of perks, but this is one of the most important. So just want to make sure we all know at the end.
Okay, we come to a point where I get to represent your teachers, and this is for students who we have felt who have been with us and blossomed and grown while you've been with us. And we have a token for you that you need to make sure you touch base with me before you leave today so that I can hand it to you. But at this point, I'm going to be handing out awards to you. Our Student of the Year for high school. This is a student that we believe is well-rounded, has worked hard, has grown, has matured greatly, has given back to the school. This student is Robert Perez. Let me qualify, that was our male student. So, on the female side, with every bit of the talent and the growth and maturity and all that goes with being a part of our Douglas family, Joanna Ward. Young adults, which you are now, whether you're 17 or 18 or other, everyone has growing pains. For us, we have 2 students, a boy and a girl, who have shown vast improvement as young people, young adults, students, well-rounded citizens, and they will do well in life. We're very proud of them. Most improved on the female side is Ms. Ashley Boardman. The young man who's receiving the most improved, get up, Bryson Dolly. We are humble, but we care about our children very much, and we like to give them a little something to speed them on their way to their next levels. We have the Frederick Douglass Scholarship, which is being presented to Brandon Herr. Our next scholarship is for basically supplies. It's just a little extra oomph. This is for Gladys Marie Velez Figueroa. Gladys. Now, at this point, I go a little bit further, and I start with the honor roll. Our students, we look at the A and AB honor rolls. Our top students for this school year include, for our seniors, when I call your name, come up, and I'll be calling everyone else as well for the A's. This will be J.C. Roberts, Emily Sandvik, and Flora Safari. Okay. For the AB honor roll, our students are Kyra Carpenter, Katya Diaz, Makai Roberts, Sky Royal, and Eric Valeda, and Grace Wainwright.
Thank you so much.
Mom, make sure you got a picture, right? Yes. Okay, good. Sky, are you still here? Sky Royal? Okay. For attendance, we have some students who either had perfect attendance or one absence. Yeah, there are a few of you out there. But at this point, we have the one for excellent attendance, Joanna Ward. And at this point, I get to sit down for a moment, and then I'll be back. Okay.
sometimes we have to remind our students of the wars that America has fought in. We have to have them know that 1776 was the American Revolution, and then the Civil War in the 1800s, and the two world wars in the 20th century. You know, the war to end all wars, and then the one that ended with bombs that can end our world. And those are history. Those are some other people's stories. But then we move into this millennia, and even though many of them have no memories of at all of 9/11, every student here knows that our country bears that sad memory. And, you know, 9/11, 2001, Shelley A. Marshall was one of the people at the Pentagon who was killed. And Don Marshall was not going to let bin Laden get his last word in, as he has so often said. And his wife loved to read and to write, and he set up the Shelley A. Marshall Foundation and has been coming here with awards for 15 years for the best short stories done at Douglas. And every year we hand him a bucket of short stories that the students have worked on for weeks, and he takes them home, and then he comes in with his awards for the top 10. So, Mr. Marshall.
Thank you. I really appreciate being here. Mr. Kitchen's right. I didn't want to give bin Laden the last word. I wanted to give Shelley the last word, and you all helped me do that. So I just want to thank you for that. You know, one of the things that struck me, I was at the Pentagon. I went there to try and find her. Obviously, I didn't, but, you know, there was so much inhumanity that day. But there was also so much humanity, people helping each other out. And so that, when I started the foundation, that was one of the things I wanted to encourage, humanity. And what's more human than creativity, right? Then, I mean, you can go to, if you ever get to France, go to the south of France, there are caves where there are 35,000-year-old artwork, you know, people telling a story. And that's what you guys did. 35,000 years later, you're still telling stories, and I hope we lit a spark. I always get up here, I also always say, you know, people always want to know who won. I won, because I got you guys to write. And some of you may not win, but hopefully there was a spark that's going to catch fire, and I know the teachers here are going to nourish that flame, and I really appreciate that. So, very quickly, we have some honorable mentions here. First, we'll go to Sabrina Barbieri for her short story, The Monster. Okay, then Jenna Gould for Dharma's Decision. We have Yadira Hernandez Medrano for Silent Gold Ring. We have Anthony Johnson for The Breaking Home. We have Carla Perez, The Gentle Slap of Jack. We have Eve Walker, With the Wind. And Hina Wazir, for The Free-for-All Compatriot. Oh, there we go. I know. Technical difficulties. Okay. We like giving things away. So we have, for third place, we have a plaque for Erin Bertkey for her story, Poor Girl. For second place, we have a plaque for J.C. Roberts for Eloquent Eyes. And first place is Mackay Roberts, Lessons from an Old Man. Okay. We'll see you next year.
You sure? Are you gonna? Okay. So, y'all are funny. Okay, so poetry awards. Mr. Hose and I are both English teachers by trade, and Mr. Kitchen asked us to read the poetry and come up with our top poets. It was very hard, but I think we did you all justice. So the honorable mention for The Troubled Man goes to Alex Acuna. Okay, so I knew who this was when I read it, even though there wasn't a name on it. The Last Championship Shot. Honorable mention, Bryson Dolly. I have an honorable mention for Remembering Freedom's Memories for Brian Jacobs. For Brooklyn's Own, honorable mention, Darren Orloff. Erratic Infatuation. I so want to hear the story behind this. Mr. J.C. Roberts, honorable mention. To our lovely guitarist who will be coming up shortly, Miss Eve Walker, honorable mention for her poem, Freeze. Equilibrity by Robert White, honorable mention. Third place in our poetry competition for Mademoiselle Antoinette Miranda for her poem, Hello. For Senorita Yadira Hernandez Medrano, second place for your poem, Warm Bare Feet. Our first place winner takes time and is very focused on doing the very best job that she can. And when she does her best job, it shows so much gift and so much talent. First place for her poem, Yet Till the Last Leaf Falls, goes to Joanna Ward. Joanna, make sure you see Mr. Kitchen. He will have something for you as well. Okay, so make sure you check in. Okay, literally. Yes, play on word meant, yes.
You're up. Yep. Are you doing a volunteer recognition report?
Well, good morning. My name's Dave Herlihy. I volunteer at the school, and I'm here to give out a couple certificates for volunteers. But before I jump into the volunteer thing, one, I want to congratulate all the graduates of 2017 from Douglas. So congratulations. And then I would ask all the students to kind of look around the room and give all the people that came here with you to witness your graduation and to celebrate your newfound freedom. Give them a round of applause for me, please. So just a couple quick notes. Today is an important day, and I know this because I'm wearing a suit coat. That's a pretty big deal in my life. And I would be wearing a tie had my wife not left for work early, so therefore, yeah, nobody was there to pick out my tie today. So you got what you got. It would be remiss in my mentorship responsibility not to share some pretty important life lessons, so to speak, that I've learned along the way. I retired 2.5 years ago. Someone came up to me and said, "Hey, what's the secret? What's the secret to success?" And I looked at him and I didn't have a clue. I had no idea how I got to where I am. None. But as I retired, I took the time to reflect back on my career and my life, and I pulled it all together and figured it out. Yeah, it was 40 years too late, but I figured it out. First, wake up every single morning and impress the people that are trying to make a positive difference in your life. Huge. Could be a mother, could be a grandfather, could be a friend, could be a teacher, could be your boss. You don't know. But when they start working with you, don't turn your back. 2, dedicate yourself 100% to whatever it is you're doing, whether it's education or work. You're not always going to like what you're doing, but dedicate yourself to it. And here's why. The majority of the people that don't like what they do walk away from it, leaving an opportunity for someone to come in their place and actually do it. That person will separate themselves from the bunch. There's many things I did in my life that I didn't like to do, but nobody else would do it, so I did it, and I was recognized for it through my life. And 3, if you do the first 2 things, you will have opportunities come your way. Recognize those opportunities, take advantage of those opportunities, and move forward with your life. Cool? All right, cool. Now on the volunteers. 2.5 years ago, I met with Dr. Robinson and Miss Simmons. And I shared with them my life story because really that day I didn't have much going on. I figured, well, I'll go to a school and share my story. So I shared it, and we started a volunteer/mentorship program with the students. That first year, I had 2 students, and it was me as the mentor volunteer. The second year, it grew from 2 students to 7 students. It grew from 1 volunteer to 3 volunteers. The third year, it grew to 15 students. And then we had, at one time, 6 volunteers. Now we have 4 volunteers. And next year, the volunteer group will get even bigger. These people don't ask for pay. They do it because they want to do it, and they do it because they care. So when you see us in the hallways, please, I always tell the students, say hello, introduce yourself so I can get to know you. And over the years, I've got to know a lot of you. Our volunteer program was put in place so we could assist students and help them overcome obstacles as they transition from their senior year in high school to the real world. The real world is a big place, not always a happy place, not always a fun place, not always, oh, we're going to give you a hug today place. The real world will treat you different than what you're accustomed to. And that's what we try to help the students. And last year, we found 13 students jobs during the holiday season. We were also able to, I shouldn't say we, but I'm going to say Mary Shepard, Rhonda Lowe, Susan, I don't know where Susan went. Raise your hand. Cool, I just want to make sure here. Helped one of our new students that was new to the country, not new to Doug, new to the country. And they helped this young lady find a place to live. They set up a house. In fact, Mary Shepard's church remodeled the apartment. They set her up with a couple months' rent. They helped her set up a checking account. They helped her find a job. That's over and above your job description. So we thank all of you that participated in that. We also had a couple students jump on the volunteer wagon, and we helped a nonprofit organization called Mobile Hope move from their location right down the street to a new building. And I can assure you, we would still be moving them today if it wasn't for the students from Douglas that participated and volunteered to help us. So with that said, I'm going to give out a couple certificates because I only have 5 minutes. So Susan Crandall, please. Here, don't leave me. And then Susan brought, what is Jesse Giggler's relationship?
He's my daughter's partner.
Daughter's partner. So he came in and he works with students in the afternoon. And he's been a huge win for the school as well. Then we have a fellow retiree that joined me. His name is Curtis Scott. He's not here today. He found a job. He's working. Puts a smile on my face. And he was also instrumental with that. So thank you. Congratulations again, and thanks.
Hi, my name is Deborah Jackson, and I am a social studies teacher here. And I know some of the family very well, as I probably called you a number of times. So I thank you for coming here, and it's nice seeing familiar faces. Congratulations to the class of 2017, or 2016, 2017. And I just want to leave you with a couple of words today before I recognize 2 students who participated in a Youth in Government Day for us. And my students know that when they first walk in, I don't smile. I don't think I smile to the end of the year. And for some of you, I have had you for 3 years. So this is a very tough day for me, watching you go off. So I feel so honored to have shared your experience with you these past 3 years. Anthony, 3 years. Brandon, and there's just so many experiences we've shared. And not only has it been trying to teach you about social sciences and history events, I've also shared with you a number of, my opinions on the world, and I just want to leave you with one final word. While at times you may not feel smart, you are smart. You have a brain, and I am so proud of you for graduating today. You have feet in your shoes, so find a passion, find a hobby, and we've talked about what's appropriate. So it'll keep you out of trouble and focused. You can steer yourself in any direction, so choose to live forward. And last, because graduation isn't the end of your journey, know it's only the beginning of a beautiful one. So please come back and share your experiences with me, and congratulations. Next, I'd like to recognize 2 of our students here that have gone above and beyond my expectations. I have asked them to not only go back out into the county to their home school and participate among their peers that they left behind at their home school, but then I asked them to learn how to argue in an Oxford debate style. And then I asked them to share their day with government officials, learning how government officials and our Board of Supervisors every day learn how to compromise, and tried to make decisions on behalf of the local citizens here. So I would like for you guys to give a round of applause for Rachel Russo and Brandon Herr. For representing Douglas. I know I did not ask you to do a small task. I asked you to go outside of your box, and you did an excellent job representing Douglas. And I have certificates for you, so I will get those to you a little bit later. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Mrs. Swarzinski, and I co-sponsor the Battle of the Books Club. But before I get into that, I'd like to say congratulations to the graduates. A lot of you, gosh, good luck out there. Come back and visit. We love seeing old faces. I'd like to thank the librarians for their help, dedication, passion, patience, and snacks. So I'd like to thank Ms. Lancaster and Ms. Tootin, getting the books out there and getting kids in there and helping me. They really, really are wonderful people. So, very brief. The Battle of the Books is a county-wide, I guess, club, you would say, for people that like to read. The county provides 10 common titles for each of the high schools, and then they run like a trivia type activity, bowl activity. And we participate every year. And this year we had 3 lovely students. Some of them are underclassmen, so they are not present, but Sabrina Barbieri, Derek Keaton, and last but not least, our senior, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, who has been on the team for 3 years? 3 years, and really going to be at a loss without her. Yadira Hernandez Medrano. So if you could come up and get your award. Thank you. Okay, that's it. The other kids can come see me for their awards. Thank you.
So now we have, to break up the speaking, we have a couple of interesting little segments coming up. First, we have Jenna and Aram. You ready? Okay. You're really in for something here. I've seen these young ladies perform, and it's unbelievable. So I didn't put too much pressure on you there, huh? Okay. But when you're ready.
And when they're ready, I just have a story. So I do, every now and then, I'm down in my office and I'm trying to take care of some additional business. So while they're setting up, they have been practicing in Ms. Brzezinski's classroom, which is above my office. So I'm like, come on, get it in step, get it right. And I just want to say you're going to have some fun. You're going to hear something good. You're going to see what they've worked on.
Whatever you're gonna do, you should probably hurry.
Okay. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T-Y. I'm petty all the time. Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T-Y. I'm petty all the time. My name's Darkeisha, yeah, and I'm the best. Yeah, you know I'm petty. I like to start some mess. Yeah, heard you don't like me. Yeah, but you don't wanna get down. You don't wanna post up when Kiki come around. Break it down now. P E to the T T Y. P E to the T T Y. P E to the T T Y. I'm petty. Yeah, I'm petty. P E to the T T Y. P. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. P. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I'm petty, slay, chico, you get eliminated.
on her, yeah. I put my Louis V on her, yeah. I put my Louis V on her, yeah. I put my Louis V on her, yeah. I put my check in the bag, 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 yeah. I put my Louis V.
You got it.
Put that away. Thank you. Thanks, dude. Okay, so I'm Eve, and hello. I'm gonna play a song by one of my favorite bands called The Front Bottoms. This song is called Twin Size Mattress. This is for the lions living in the wiry, broke down frames of my friends' bodies. The floodwater comes, it ain't gonna be clear, it's gonna look like mud. I will help you swim. I will help you swim. I'm gonna help you swim. It's for the snakes and the people they bite, for the friends I've made, for the sleepless nights, for the warning signs I've completely ignored. There's an amount to take, reasons to take more. It's no big surprise you turned out this way. And they closed their eyes and prayed you would change. And they cut your hair and sent you away. You stopped by my house the night you escaped. With tears in my eyes, I begged you to say. You said, hey man, I love you, but no frickin' way. And I'm sure that we could find something for you to do on stage. Maybe shake a tambourine. And when I sing, you sing harmony. This for the lake that me and my friends swim in, naked and dumb on a drunken night. Should've felt good, but I can hear the Jaws theme song on repeat in the back of my mind. Kiss your knuckles before you punch me in the face. There are lessons to be learned, consequences for all the stupid things I say, and it is no big surprise turned out this way. Spark in your eyes, the look on your face. I'm sure that we could find something for you to do on stage. Maybe shake a tambourine, or when I sing, you sing harmony. She hopes I'm cursed forever to sleep on a twin-sized mattress in somebody's attic or basement. My whole life, never graduating up in size to add another. And my nightmares will have nightmares every night.
I don't sing, I don't play guitar, I don't step, but I am absolutely thrilled to be here today to join in celebrating your graduation. I also want to express appreciation for family and friends of graduating students, faculty and staff of Douglas School, and to other honored guests, because your attendance and participation today helps make the day special. So graduates, there have been multiple references today to the history of the Douglas School, and clearly the Douglas School boasts a rich history of educating Loudoun's young people. And you should be proud to be a graduate who has attended the Douglas School. And earlier this year, I also had the opportunity to attend the celebration of the 75th anniversary of the Douglas School. And I ask that you indulge me as I take us through just a little piece of that history, although I know that many of you here are very familiar with it. So, for several decades in the early part of the last century, the only secondary school available to African American students in Loudoun County was the upper level of the Loudoun County Training School. In the late 1930s, as was referenced earlier, the black community in Loudoun County organized fundraisers and purchased 8 acres of land on the east side of Leesburg. The school opened in September 1941. And at the request of community organizers, the school was named for African-American abolitionist Frederick Douglass. With the segregation in 1968, the building became a middle school, and then a special education and alternative school. And you've heard of all the various proclamations that were referenced today, but I also want to share that the Douglas School was placed on the National Register of Historic Places on September 24th, 1992. Now, graduates, the reason I briefly review this history is I'd like to ask you all to take a moment to reflect on your own journey as you consider the history of the Douglas School. So the history of the Douglas School is one of determination of a people to improve the lives of their kids and thereby to affect their future. And it was named after a great American who fought and sacrificed for the future of his people. I'd ask you to reflect for a moment on your own personal history, on the struggles and challenges that you faced. Graduates, when you decided to come to Douglas School, perhaps you did so as one potential solution to challenges that you had faced or might face. Each of you has his or her own unique story, but those stories have a common theme, and that theme is grit and determination in overcoming challenges. Your grit has been crucial in overcoming any challenges you've faced in your journey seeking a high school diploma. Grit means that you don't give up when your journey feels impossible. You keep moving towards your goals despite facing obstacles. You've developed an internal drive that keeps you moving forward even when you meet a force that tries to push you back. Perhaps the best way to describe grit and determination is with a poem. And upon hearing this poem for the first time, my reaction was, now that is grit. And the poem is entitled, "The Rose That Grew from Concrete." Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete? Proving nature's law is wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete when no one else ever cared. Now that poem is actually written by the late rapper Tupac Shakur, and it provides a powerful description of grit. Now I do want to qualify, because qualify and make a statement about the last line. It referenced whether or not others cared, and that absolutely is not applicable here today, because it's clear that you've had many people who cared about you, and many of them are sitting in this room today. But perhaps there were times when you felt like that rose growing against all odds, and like Tupac's rose, you've come through those challenges with success. And today we celebrate your successes. Each of you has a story to tell, and we come together to honor those stories. So graduates, I'm truly pleased to be able to personally congratulate you and wish you well on the journey before you. You inspire us. Congratulations, class of 2017.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So I normally don't write my speeches, but I wanted to stick within the time frame, so I did. My name is Donna Fortier, and I am the CEO and founder of Mobile Hope. For those of you that don't know, Mobile Hope is an organization here in Loudoun County that works with kids 24 years of age and younger who are homeless, precariously housed, or struggling. The relationship Mobile Hope has had with the Douglas Alternative School over the last many years has been a win-win. Mobile Hope wins because we get to know each and every one of the kids who come through our door. And Douglas Alternative School wins because they know they have a safe and nurturing place where these kids can go, sometimes in their darkest hours or sometimes to simply volunteer. I'd like to acknowledge, and see I put add knowledge, I didn't even do spell check, 3 students today who have proven themselves to be of great character, incredible compassion, and a big part of Mobile Hope. I know that each and every one of these students is going to be successful and is going to make a difference in the world. Each one of these students has put in well over 100 hours of volunteering with us. The first student I'd like to recognize was a significant volunteer during our 8th move in November. He and several other boys from Douglas, along with Dave Herlihy, wherever Dave went, rented a box truck, helped us pack, helped us move into our new location. This student is a true leader and showed incredible compassion to some of our other volunteers who struggle with mental or physical disabilities. I'd like to give a small token to Jose Bonilla, who I think is out working today because I did not see him. Is he here? No. Woo! The next student I'd like to recognize has also been an incredible part of our Mobile Hope family. She arrives every day after school with a smile, helps us regardless of what is asked, and because of her dedication to Mobile Hope is one of our new board members. She has been known to entertain some of our youngest clients, sometimes by sitting on the floor and blowing bubbles. Would Ashley Boardman please come up to be recognized? The last student I'd like to recognize, who has also put in over 100 hours of volunteering and was a paid staff member of Mobile Hope, is someone who has been with us pretty much since our doors opened. I often tell her she is one of the strongest and bravest young ladies I have ever met. I said I wouldn't cry. Damn! Sorry. Whoops! The struggles that she has faced and overcome prove that she too is also going to make a significant difference in the world. Her compassion for each and every kid that walks through our door is unparalleled. Her goal is to speak for other kids who don't have a voice, to go to college to become a social worker, and then be rehired by Mobile Hope. Cynthia Reyes, would you please come to get your certificate of appreciation?
I feel so bad.
Don't worry about it. Okay, you're coming over.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we're in
All right, Cynthia.
On behalf of our staff, our board of directors, our volunteers, and our community that shows such humbling support for Mobile Hope, we congratulate each and every one of you for this huge and impressive accomplishment. Thanks.
In the words of Tupac Shakur, let's give it up for the class of 2017. We truly are just thrilled for you guys as you embark upon this next chapter of your very exciting lives. For those of you who don't know, I'm Brett Lesher. I'm the counselor to seniors. So for parents, loved ones out there, friends, it has been more than an honor to get to know your student this year, a little last year as well, for those that were here last year when I first came in February. They have improved my life, have challenged me, have excited me in many different areas. So here's to you guys as we prepare to call you forward and make it official, the pronouncement of our commencement here this morning. So the first one here in attendance is Sammy Ben-Hayun. So we will ask you to come forward and grab your certificate, and then you can return to your seat. And I'll just request that we can hold our applause until all the names are called. So Sammy Ben-Hayun has the plan to start at Nova and to major in sports marketing and promotions. The next student is Robina Bibi. She also has plans to start at Nova and to study computer IT. Ashley Boardman. She plans to start at Nova and study criminal law and law enforcement. Austin Charsky is going away to a 4-year school where he will study computer programming with a cybersecurity. Ethan Cobean. Ethan Cobean will start at Nova. When we sat down to do this interview with my seniors in the fall, Ethan looks at me and he said, I really don't know what I'm planning on doing with my life. How does comedian sound? And I said, there are comedians professionally in the world that do get a paycheck. So that's Ethan Cobean. Seth Cox is next. He plans to take a gap year before starting his studies at the community college. Bryson Dolly will start at a 2-year college and study criminal justice with a minor in business. Jessica Grimaldo Sandoval will begin at a 2-year college and study towards social work. Nicholas, a.k.a. Rico Height, will begin at Nova for 2 years to study business, possibly open his own auto garage. Give it up. I need an oil change soon, my man. I'm going to be giving you a call. Yadira Hernandez Medrano plans to study starting at a 2-year before going on to a 4-year college in vet science and minoring in writing and editing. Brandon Herr is interested in beginning at a tech school to earn a certificate in radiology. Miss Caitlin Howe plans to start at Nova before going to a 4-year college to study psychology. Mr. Anthony Johnson is interested in becoming a firefighter. Mr. Adam Kahn plans to start at Nova for 2 years, where he will seek employment in the meantime and pursue a general studies bachelor degree. Travis Krinjek is planning to enlist in the United States Marine Corps to become a CQB officer. Mr. Isaiah Lazo is currently working at the Dulles Airport, and he is planning to pursue a career working in HVAC. Mr. Rafael Lopez Anzora will seek employment after graduation in HVAC. Mr. Noe Mejia plans to start his college studies at Nova in computer engineering. Ms. Taylor Miner will also start her college career at Nova before moving to a 4-year college, and she just mentioned this morning that she's also looking at a midwife program in Brisbane, Australia. Miss Allegra Morales plans to take a gap year before starting her college studies. Miss Allegra, do we know the gentleman in the back here? Proud parent. Mr. Lance Obregon plans to pursue his studies at Crop Metcalf in an HVAC specificity. Next is Mr. Darren Orloff, where he will seek employment. He is definitely one of our creatives who plans to start a clothing design company. Ms. Carla Perez plans to start her studies at Paul Mitchell in cosmetology. No surprise there. A lot of style and fashion with Ms. Carla. Mr. Robert Perez plans to seek employment and to continue working with the company that he's currently employed with, MPS. Ms. Willow Preston, as she mentioned earlier in her speech, she will go away to a four-year college and study biology and pre-med. Ms. Cynthia Reyes Bueso is interested in starting her college studies at Nova in the fall and then on to a four-year college to study criminal justice, social work, and possibly counseling. Mr. J.C. Roberts is currently studying at Nova, will transfer on to a four-year college, and is a general ed student at the moment. His twin brother, Mr. Mackay Roberts, is currently employed with the Learner Management Corporation. Mr. Alejandro Rodriguez plans to study at Nova for 2 semesters before enlisting in the United States Army. Mr. Jonathan Ruiz Paiva is interested in starting his studies at Nova in automotive technology. Mr. Eric Valeda is planning to start his studies at Nova as well before transferring to a four-year college in music engineering or production with a minor in business. So all you wannabe music artists out there. I have that written in my notes here, Fire Fam, D-O-double-G. You beat me to it, Eric. Miss Grace Wainwright will start at a four-year college to study physics. Way over my head. Miss Madison Wally, she went by Luna here among her peers. She's interested in starting her college studies at Nova, then on to a four-year college where she will get a degree in social work. She was also one of the all-star students who challenged the staff team in a volleyball game a few weeks prior, and the staff almost lost. But Miss Wally was a big proponent for their challenge. Miss Joanna Ward will go away to the Delaware Art and Design School to study animation, concept, and design. Again, just a quick reminder, look at the cover of your program, and that is Miss Joanna Ward. And Mr. Robert White is interested in starting his college studies at Nova before transferring to a four-year college in computer science. Let's give a round of applause for the Douglas Community Schools class of 2017.
And now it's my honor to introduce our speaker, J.C. Roberts.
I'm just going to grab water real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get your water.
All right, J.C.
Good morning. Today is such an important, exciting day. I am honored to be given the opportunity to address my graduating class. I believe the best advice I can give is to quote Max Ehrmann's Desiderata. Go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence, as far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly. and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter. For always, there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with your God, whoever you conceive him or her to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy. Thank you, and congratulations to the 2017 graduating class.
And that concludes our program today. There is a reception downstairs in the gym, and I want to thank everybody for coming. If we could let the seniors leave first, and then after that, everyone can be dismissed. Thank you again to everyone who's coming. Class of 2017.